Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's just ride this roller coaster into our first guest. You may know her from Workaholics. Some of you might have seen her in Chicago on the Second City main stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Maribeth Monroe. Yeah. Thank you.
Sephora.
That's like what makes a show. I don't know if you know anything about comedy, but I can tell you the secret.
No, you figured it out.
Sephora and
Done and done.
done and done.
I love it.
Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's just get in. For those who don't know, play Maribeth on. Or you don't play Maribeth. You play Alice Murphy.
Very nice and a much nicer person.
She
I
is
play
a super
Alice
nice.
on Workaholics.
Yeah, on Workaholics.
Yeah.
And this is the second 12 episodes.
No, we did 10 episodes our first season. We did 10 episodes
Yeah.
our second, and now we just started shooting 20 episodes for our third.
Whoa!
So we got
Major
another
work.
third. It's something. It's interesting because at a table read I just had this past week. One of the execs was like, "This is very new for us because we've never done anything like this before and had the success of what we have with Workaholics before. Exactly, to double the order and have it be a scripted show. It's all very new for the network, so it's very exciting.
Is it new for the dudes running the show? Because they're young dudes
Oh my
who are
God.
they're like 11, right?
It's kind of like well, it's kind of like dream come true. They pitched this show to Comedy Central. Comedy Central said, go off and make a pilot presentation. Here's $2,500. And they did, this pilot presentation for $2,500, and off that pilot presentation got greenlit for 10 episodes.
This,
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't happen. And
Yeah.
I got the audition, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna IMDb these guys, and there was like nothing.
It just came up and it's like bros.
It was like bro squad,
Bro
like
squad.
buddies and pals.
Kyle's awesome. He's we're just awesome.
It was great.
They're the coolest
Yeah,
dudes.
and they're the coolest guys and the nicest guys and so down to earth. And
So is that like, I guess they have like a full writing staff now for all, they didn't probably
and they
before.
doubled their writing staff
Wow, that's
since
pretty
the
cool.
first 2 seasons. All the writers from the second season are on network shows.
Oh, really?
They, most of them left and are getting paid awesome money now. on Parks and Rec. And it's so cool because the guys are like, of course they did.
Yeah.
They're just like, of course they left and they need to go do that and make a lot of money and
I feel like we're misleading the kids out there. This doesn't happen.
Fuck cable. Fuck cable.
People don't just go make pilots and then get greenlit
No.
and then become the billionaires.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's awesome. But that's
it's
really
awesome.
congratulations.
Thank you so
Super
much.
awesome.
I am clinging to their coattails very happily.
Right up, girl. Right. That sounded really
It did
That's not
Did
women.
preposition?
Yeah.
No.
So, how is this for you? For those of you who don't know or didn't hear my introduction, Second City is
Yes.
where you kind of got your start in Chicago, right?
Yes.
And you did a show called Red
I
Scare.
actually technically got started in Detroit.
Did you really?
There was we were the redheaded stepchild theater of
Woo!
the Second City. People from Detroit here?
One guy.
Awesome. So we were. I started there, but
you did end up moving to
yes,
Chicago.
I moved to Chicago. Got on the main stage there for 2. Yeah, I was there for 2 years.
So the way
on the
that
main stage.
the main stage, you did a show called Red Scare, right?
I did.
And I feel bad because probably a lot of people didn't get to see it, but it was awesome. It was
Oh,
really,
thank
really
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
And the way you guys work is you guys like improvise scenes and then you write them based off the improv,
Yes.
right? That's how Second City that's their philosophy.
That's how we roll.
That's how they roll.
Yes.
That's how they do it.
That's how we rock
I
it.
can't think of any more things to say.
That's
But so how is that? There's a writer in you, obviously.
Yes.
Is doing what you're doing now in Workaholics kind of like the ultimate, like what you want to be doing, or do you have that urge to like write scenes when you're getting the sides or when you're getting the scripts and
Oh,
stuff?
you know what's great about the show is that we do it and then they're like, play.
Oh, really?
So we get to improvise a ton, which is super fun being an improviser, getting
Yeah.
to do that. So a lot of my jokes end up on the final episode, like the final cut, which is great.
So they give you a lot of freedom.
A lot of freedom to play, but it does, and it's really funny that you just brought this up because I've just been, chit-chatting with my rep about what I want to do ultimately, and they really, the reason they took me on, they're like, we want you to start creating for yourself and writing for yourself and start coming up with what that vehicle is for yourself that we can potentially pitch, and kind of start down that road, which I am interested in, but it's just it's like I'm looking up this huge mountain of like, holy shit, that's such a process.
Well, what I mean is like, all you need is
and now I'm like,
$2,500.
but this coattail thing's really fucking working out, where I just get handed a script and can just do that. No, but I would like to do that. I think it would be
So the writer in you still is
definitely,
like...
Definitely, yeah.
That sounds so good. So they let you talk?
Caitlin is sometimes he's just a friend. So
He's sax, dude.
he's
You're
wonderful.
sax.
Red Scare was directed by Mick Napier, right?
Yes.
So for those who don't know, Mick Napier is like a guru of improvisational and sketch comedy.
Yes.
And also just a lunatic.
The
beautiful-
angriest person I've ever met in my life. At the time, he was the biggest alcoholic I've ever known.
Sober now.
Sober now? Yeah. Quit smoking now. It's
Crazy.
weird. It's like, who are you?
What was it like working with someone like Mick, who's like is it super genius?
He's super genius, amazing director, and I feel like the whole process just flew by in such a way where you're like, I never knew I was capable of doing the things that he got me to do. B, I never honed in so much on my point of view, as far as what I wanted to say, and he was so amazing at fostering us to figure that out. That was amazing. Finding our own voice, yeah. Exactly. And also I've never been so angry in the sense of working with someone who's so angry and constantly is pointing out like what you should be angry at, and then you're like, yeah, and I'm normally like, like life's good, right? And then you're like,
Not
no.
you walking out of rehearsal, just punching the first guy you see.
And Bush had just gotten reelected.
Yeah.
At the time we were writing the show, which all of us were super pissed about.
Yeah.
So we just went into the show with this raging temper and anger, and all of our scenes reflected that, as you saw.
Yeah,
it was just
wonderful.
A very brutal show. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're kind of lucky in the sense that having Mick get that out of you has probably super helped you in something like Workaholics.
Yes.
Like, especially where you have that much room to play.
Oh yeah. Like you mean as far as?
As far as like you've had this director is amazing, and then when you go into you're like super seasoned and you're super like you know what your voice is, you know what you're gonna improvise, you can see all the different angles, and like I assume.
I think no. I mean I think even being in theater, for the years that I was, we always joked because it was like we all went to war with each other. We all went to war together, like war on comedy together, and like hit those boards, and the schedule that you have on a stage like Second City where you're doing 7 shows a week, Tuesday through Sunday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and then rehearsing during the day for the next show you're writing. So you're living in this theater and like exhausted all the time and drinking after the shows, closing 4 a.m. bars, and then getting up and doing rehearsals. So you're in this crazy, theater lifestyle, and there's nothing, it takes away any fear or any, because it's the 10,000 hours thing. Have you guys ever read the Malcolm Gladwell Outliers? Like,
They're
it's
very
10,000
well
hours to read. Okay, well anyway, it's the whole 10,000, you do 10,000 hours of anything, and you're gonna be pretty confident about what the fuck you're doing. So it's like, doing like television, although it's a totally different beast, I feel like I did come in with a lot of confidence, but also like hopefully not obnoxious confidence, but or cockiness, but like a confidence in ability.
I have one thing I want to do.
Oh shit! Wow, taking a call. All right.
I'm gonna take a picture.
Oh, it's a picture.
MBM.
Yay.
See what I just did there?
MBM. Oh, I like it. No, I like it.
Awesome.
Yay.
Wait, what's MBM?
Maribeth Monroe.
It was also the name of my first one-woman show.
Oh.
Not that you knew that.